Good morning, it's Sean with Camel Marketing. Hope everybody's having a good weekend so far and you're enjoying this Sunday morning. Just wondering what everybody's up to today. There's been a ton of sports on TV, and if you're any kind of a sports fanatic as I am, you may have spent a little bit too much time in front of a TV. I know I did last night watching not only the Olympics, but the Cowboys had their first preseason game on last night, so I was very interested in that and seeing what all the rookies look like, and they look pretty good. I have to say, they look pretty good. I'm not going to be the bandwagon guy who says the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl and all that. And I've been a fan for a long, long time, but it was just good to see that they got some young talent coming up, and they're all seem to be doing pretty well. Second half wasn't too great, but second half in any preseason game, especially the first one, doesn't really count that much. I mean, just a bunch of great athletes nonetheless, but trying to make roster spots. So today I do want to talk about our willingness to put in the hard work. Something we've talked about, a few times already. But I try to speak of things that I've learned for the week and try to pass that on to you. And the more and more I get into things, I've mentioned before in one of the videos before. There's two kinds of people. All of us do want something and strive for more as far as our goals and our vision and whatnot. Some of us work for it and some of us don't. This is cut and dry. For those who are working for it, those are working towards it. One thing I'm learning this week, especially this week, all kinds of great examples, but I think the main lesson of the week has been, not to overthink things. At the end of the day, it's hard work. It's putting in the hours, executing. Definitely the execution. You got to find that balance of how much of your time are you committing to your work, how much time are you creating, or are you putting towards creating, and how much time are you putting into continuing your education. What I mean by education is you're reading or watching a video of people that you admire, kind of strive towards their level of success. And I think something that a lot of us are doing a little bit too much is trying to think too much outside the box. I do believe that you do have to think outside the box. I think the box is getting more and more narrow. I think people, people's visions, people's dreams, and whatnot are getting more suppressed at a younger age because of the effect of the millennials. I think people in their mid-30s see the millennials and seeing success, how quickly it can be achieved, and kind of put their hands up and say, I'm not going to be able to do it, I'm too old. And they're all but 35, 36 years old, which is, we all know, I mean, you haven't really hit your prime yet, and so I think, that box that people are thinking to think outside the box is getting smaller and smaller. I think the older you get, thinking outside the box really isn't something that is extraordinarily unique. But I think there's too much time thinking about things, too much time thinking new ways of doing things, when the fundamentals are is that you just got to put in the work. It's got to execute, and it's cut and dry. I think a lot of people spend too much time, not to minimize the importance of the networking. Networking is definitely needs to be part of your marketing strategy. You need to go out and meet people that you don't know. That definitely needs to have some time dedicated towards, but not every single day, and multiple hours a day. I think having lunch, having a cup of coffee needs to be productive, and I think that's something where I may have fallen into a little bit too much of a trap the last few weeks. Spending too much time waiting on people, spending too much time having a cup of coffee over nothing, and spending too much time just not talking about anything that's going to help me get towards my goal, and spending too much time thinking, okay, what's the next best thing? And honestly, the next best thing is right in front of me. It's right in front of me. It's in front of the channels that I'll watch, the books that I read. Um, but I think a lot of us are trying to think too much. Um, that there's something else, and if you think that there's something else out there, there's some other big idea that's going to get you rich quick. That you're living in a fairy tale, and it's not going to happen. You got to stick to what you know, stick to what you know best, do what you do best, put in the work, execute. Definitely, I'm not saying don't make time towards networking. I think, if you find a good networking group, as I have, been very, very fortunate with one group in particular, I think you need to stick with it, be consistent with it, establish yourself in that group, and then, as you grow exponentially, I think maybe you find another group, maybe another couple of people, but spending all your time or spending time every day doing so, I don't think it's productive. But I think the real message today is kind of get back to the meat and potatoes, the fundamentals, getting back to working, putting more work into your day than chit-chatting, more work into your day than trying to think of the next best thing. And if you really, really take a moment to think about it, the next best thing really is in front of you. It really is in the resources that are available to all of us. And, like I said, there's people that I watch and study, pretty consistently, and they've said it all along. Anything that I'm stating to right now, it's not new. It's not rocket science. It's not, a bit original, to be honest with you. It's just a matter of me kind of passing on the information and passing on from my own experience. It's been not a difficult couple of weeks, but it's been a very good learning experience. I'm at a point now where I really need to find a few more clients. I really need to think about how I'm going to scale my business, and I got some ideas and talked to some people about that already. But trying to think about the next best thing, the next best thing that's going to get me over the hurdle. It's just put in the work. It's put in the work that has got me to the point I am now, but continuing to do so. Not trying to reinvent the wheel, not trying to find the next best thing to kind of jump a few hurdles at once. It's a continuous cycle. Planting the seeds for more growth, planting the seeds for more clients, and but being a step ahead in knowing how I'm going to scale my business and keep up with demand. So definitely looking forward to those next few clients. We definitely ready for it and got some ideas in place. But that's the message today. It's don't forget about the fundamentals. Don't forget about putting in the hard work. Don't forget about managing your time, and stay away from the temptation of spending too much time in front of in a more casual conversation. I'm not saying don't continue to invest in your relationships. You definitely need those. But at the same time, if you and that other person are on the same page, the two of you should understand that, unless you're there to kind of talk about your business and talk about how you're going to grow your business and talk about how you're going to execute, then anything else may be a little bit, there may be better ways to invest your time. So that's the talk today. I hope everybody has a great week. And again, as always, if you have any ideas or suggestions on what we could post on our channel, please do so. We are on Snapchat now. I'm still learning how we could utilize it the best, but nonetheless, it's definitely a platform that has to be utilized. And maybe we'll get into that more next week. So have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you soon.